Well, for back-to-back weeks, the Heath Hawk defense rises up again, this time a 44-6 victory over Wiley. The Heath Hawks are moving on to the third round for the first time since 2011. Everybody, Chris Curtis here for the Rockwall Sportscenter Heath Hawk update, joined by the captain of the broadcast for your Heath Hawks, Steve Deere. And Steve, once again, this defense comes to play, and they came to play in a big way for the second straight week in the playoffs. We going to have a challenge in this playoff coming up?
Well, first of all, let me say that it wasn't back-to-back weeks. I think this is the 12th week in a row that the defense has come to play, because this has been easily the backbone of this team all year. And, yeah, they showed up in a big way again this week, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. But will they have a challenge? You know, I talked to Coach Moss last week, and I said, hey, this playoff thing is easy, isn't it? And he shot me a look that I don't think he appreciated the comment, but I'm going to have to bring it up to him again this week. Hey, you guys are making this playoff thing look easy.
Yeah, it looks very easy. The defense came to play. The first team basically pitched a shutout for back-to-back weeks in the playoffs. The second team obviously allowed a touchdown in the second half, but we won't really count that touchdown per se. That first team, nothing can get past them, and they had a quarterback this past week that led the league, or led the 5A in passing and touchdowns and yards. He couldn't get a thing done, and he was frustrated by it in the second quarter, it seemed like.
Denzel Chukwukwelu, Josh Scott, Wyatt Leith, three-man rush the entire game, and they were in his face the entire game. He could not get his feet planted. He couldn't run. It's amazing when you have a three-man rush and they're still able to put that kind of heat on a quarterback. That allows so much for the defense. The rest of the defense was able to key on receivers. They were able to really play the run gaps a lot. Amazing performance by those three young men last week. I don't think I've ever seen a three-man rush by themselves with no help from blitzing linebackers, anybody else, put that kind of heat on a quarterback. Amazing performance by those kids.
I was in the booth with you for that third quarter, and it seemed like every time I would hear you talk, Josh Scott came out of your mouth. I ended up talking to Josh after the game. Here's what he had to say about his performance and the Heath Hawks' defensive performance.
I mean, you got to take it week by week. You know, you can't look in the long run. You know, you got to take it week by week. And Coach Schaum's a great coach, and he keeps us focused 9% of the time on what we need to do.
Well, Steve, there must be something in the water at the Hoy household. Jordan Hoy, for the second straight week, comes to play. We obviously thought this offense was going to be the big question mark of the Heath Hawks. So far, it's been perfect, 2 for 2, and Jordan Hoy has led the way. Outstanding performance once again by this young man.
Well, you know, when Rico went down, there was a tremor that went through Hawk Nation then, because Rico was a big part of the running game. He was the running game for most of the year. Jordan has just an amazing way stepped up the last several weeks. Second straight week that he's gone over 150 yards, 200 yards this week, and had 4 touchdowns. What has he got now? He's got like 350 yards and 9 touchdowns, I think it is, in the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. Playoffs? What? This kid is just going off. I heard his interview with you the other day. He said, I just felt the need to put the team on my shoulders and to pick up my game, and he's really done that in a major way. But let's not forget also Tyler McAllister. He went for over 100 yards the other night, had a touchdown himself. He's really stepped up his game as well. He's playing as well as he's ever played before. That really makes a potent 1-2 combination on the ground game. Doesn't allow the defense to key on any one person. They've got to count for everybody. I mean, we all know that Jordan can throw the ball too, so it's really turned into a nice, diversified attack. And, yeah, Jordan has just really picked it up to another level.
I might have figured out what it is with Jordan. It's the red hair.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And it looks good on him. You know what? It looks good on him. It's a good Hawk red. It looks good on him.
It wouldn't look good on us, but it would look good on him for sure.
Well, we'll talk more about that
4
in a
weeks.
minute too.
4 weeks. Let's hear what Jordan had to say after his amazing performance on Friday night.
I feel like, I'm not trying to be selfish or anything, but I feel like, some colleges are, sleeping on me. But I'm not trying to worry about that right now. I'm trying to worry about my team and get to the next round each week after week and just, playing every down for them.
Well, with Rico out, Jordan has just been determined to pick up the load and really show his ability. And we're trying to run Jordan a little bit more, but heck, why not when you run like that? When you make plays like he does, and he's played incredible. He's been a great leader for our team. He's a very passionate, emotional kid. I'm really excited the way Jordan's playing, excited for him.
Well, Steve, we get to look ahead to the third round of the UIL 5A playoffs, and it's Heath taking on John Tyler, otherwise known as Cujo. It's going to be at 12 o'clock at McLean Stadium, the home of the Baylor Bears, where Rockwall played in round 1. So here we go again with a big stadium for Rockwall Heath, a big stage for Jordan Hoy and his defense. What do we expect from Rockwall Heath against John Tyler?
Well, they're going to have to do a lot more of what they've been doing. They're going to have to stay diversified. Jordan's going to have to be his very athletic self. John Tyler has a great defense. They're averaging giving up less than 300 yards a game. They've got several really big-time talents on their team. They've got a kid, Isaac Warren, that's committed to Purdue in their secondary. The guy's got 8 interceptions on the year. Not many kids in high school have come down with 8 interceptions in one season. They've got a big defensive line. They're going to have to do what they've been doing and grind it out. It is going to be one of those type games where the yards are not going to come easy. They're going to have to stay disciplined. They're going to have to hang on to the ball. They're going to have to grind it out and just do whatever they can to put points on the board against a tough defense.
Now, John Tyler has lost 2 games this year, one against one of Rockwall's district opponents, Robert E. Lee, in the Tyler area, and then again to Ennis. So kind of talk about this team can be beaten. There's signs that it can be beaten. So what other steps does Rockwall Heath need to do to take this to the next level and move on to the 4th round?
Yeah, it's kind of a Jekyll and Hyde thing with them. They earlier in the year, they went to Longview and beat Longview at Longview, which Hawks fans know how difficult it is to pull that off. And then the very next week, they lose to Robert E. Lee, who didn't even make the playoffs this year. So what team is going to show up? They're really on a roll right now. The only other loss they had, like you said, is to Ennis, who won their district. They went undefeated. That's a really good team. They could challenge for state, I believe. And so, yeah, it's a tough team, but which team is going to show up? So I guess we'll see on Friday.
And here's Coach Moss talking about John Tyler coming up this Friday night.
They're running a spread offense, which, what we face tonight, athleticism, a little bit more speed at the running back position, a little bit physical in the offensive line. Defensively, they play pretty good football. They force turnovers. I mean, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be 2 very good football teams battling it out.
And, of course, Rockwall Heath will need you this weekend, this Friday, this holiday weekend, as Rockwall Heath will take on John Tyler. And we want to see everybody come out and make some noise. You can come to Rockwall Sportscenter, get your T-shirts, get everything ready to go. Come in with the code word D-Line. You get 20% off everything else. And, Steve, we need a lot of Hawk fans. It's holiday weekend. It's going to be great.
You know what? The motto for this team is no regrets, no excuses. Hawk fans need to adopt that motto also. You will regret if you don't get out and see this team. This kind of thing doesn't happen every year, okay? This is only the third time in Hawks history that we've made this deep of a run in the playoffs, and they're looking really good. They could make a run here. You want to get behind this team. Don't regret not being there and not seeing this in person. No excuses. It's going to be a beautiful day Friday, beautiful holiday weekend. No excuses. Get down there and let's support this team.
And this really is, if you haven't watched them this year, this is a really fun team to watch. And they always say defense wins championships. This team has a defense.
This team might have, if not the best, one of the best defenses in the entire state. You give up 6 points in 2 playoff games. They could have named their score in these first 2 games, and a lot of the reason for that. And like I said earlier, the backbone of this team that's been carrying them all year is the defense. And you know what? It's not just one star player and 2 star players. There are some named players on this defense, but it's a total team effort that's just incredible to watch how they play together as a team. Come out and watch them. They're a fun team to watch.
All right, we just had a prediction here at the Rockwall Sportscenter. Tyler Pinkston, he wants to be called the number 2 pitcher at Heath High School, a 21-17 victory over John Tyler. And he says, if they win this one, it could be state. So what do you think?
Well, I like the prediction. I'm hoping for a little more offense out of the Heath than that because, you know what? It's been set on cruise control for almost 2 months now. We haven't had a tight one. I don't know if I'm in shape to handle a tight game, so we need to put enough points on the board to be comfortable so I don't have to stress over it.
They've been easy for you so far. They've been easy. We got to keep you a little more entertained in the second half.
I would like that, actually. Yeah, let's give us something to focus on other than cracking jokes in the booth,
All right. It's www.rockwallisd.com to join Steve Deere and his company, but no excuses. Get down to Baylor this weekend, have some fun, and cheer on your Rockwall Heath Hawks. We'll see you next Monday here from the Rockwall Sportscenter. Have a great Thanksgiving and go Hawks.